give first. It's a way in a culture of life inside of our business that we believe that if we give first and ask for nothing in return, the reciprocity and what you send out into that world will come back to you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, All Things Business. And I tell you what, I've got a super treat today. A young lady, we go back way back when she was just coming in, got into college, know her brother very well, went to Colorado Springs, stayed at her parents' house. Her father is a dean at the school up in Colorado, and watched her grow into a point she's at today. And she's amazing. She has several children. We'll talk about that a little bit too. She adopted quite a few of them. Her and her husband had grew the insurance business after getting out of network marketing to a multi-million-dollar business. And I have to talk to her now through her assistants because she's so busy. So without further ado, let's get to my dear friend in, all the way from Hawaii on Honolulu, E.A Buck. Good afternoon, young lady.
Hey, Mr. Thomas, thank you for having me on here. I appreciate the compliments. And I don't know that we go way back because that ages you and I too much. So let's just, say maybe a little ways back.
First of all, tell everybody a little bit about your background, when I first met you, where you lived in San Diego. Talk about let's go back way back before you met that handsome husband of yours, Mr. Jeff Bucks. Let's talk about that because I know both of them very well.
I got the chance to start off, my adulthood at the University of San Diego for the Aztecs. And I've got to tell you, being in Southern California, after growing up in the cold parts of Colorado, was a really warm welcome. And as a college student, as Al alluded to, my father worked in higher education, and he really promoted the idea that he wanted us to take ownership of our life and be responsible. And so one of the things he did is he had us pay for our own college. And the result of that was that I had to figure out a way to make ends meet. So I was working in restaurants, and I stumbled through my brother into the opportunity working with a telecommunications business that was involved with network marketing. And I had the chance to do something kind of on the side that, quite honestly, I wasn't quite sure what it would lead to, Al. My degree is in molecular biology. And when I sat down with my college counselor and they asked me, what do you want to do with your life? I couldn't answer them, but I could tell them about who I wanted to become. And I looked at that counselor and I shared that my fulfillment, my joy in life, my passion is about making other people become the best versions of themselves. And so through Excel and network marketing and getting the opportunity to work with you, Al, I started to recognize at a very young age that business was a way to do that. It was a way to help other people become better versions of themselves and empower them to have fulfilling and long-lasting careers. And so I started my first business, quite honestly, at a tender age of 18. And the result was, by the time I graduated from college, I was making over 6 figures. By the time I was 25, I made my first $1 million. And I had already launched into my second and third business opportunities. So who knows, from, I guess, a science geek to in a classroom, leading now a large wealth management, accounting, and federal company. It's been quite a journey, but always humbled by our roots and always come back to the core purpose of why we got into business in the first place.
Yeah, and that was years ago in San Diego. And you were such a gorgeous lady. You're still a very gorgeous lady. And you met Mr. Jeff Bucks there. And we met there in our first network marketing company. And you did well. He did well. And you grew your business. And tell us about, you don't will the name companies, but you left the network marketing company we were involved with. And tell everybody what you did after you got trained in network marketing, learned a lot about network marketing principles, how to empower others. What was the next journey?
Well, what I find is the fundamentals of business, it doesn't change. Whether you're working in network marketing or you're building a Fortune 50 company, at the end of the day, the primary elements, the building blocks to a successful business are essential marketing efforts. When we were doing network marketing, we called them reach out methods. how are you going to get out to your prospects and leads and have a conversation with them? Great reach out methods involve providing your client with two really important things. First, you have to be able to deliver something to the market that's unique, something that is going to make you stand out in the crowd. But you can't be so unique that you fail to do the second part, which is you also need to deliver something that's valuable. So when your customer is coming to you and making a choice to do business with you, what are those attributes that you're bringing to them? And so whether, again, our beginning endeavor was with telecom and its phone service, and you think, how can that be unique? Well, it was because the way that Kenny Trout packaged it, the way that he was able to deliver that through the network marketing channel, and it was a bit of a price war, again, gave us a competitive advantage so that we could attract long distance dialing phone customers. And from there, what you want to do is you build a business, you create sales through a business, and again, not just a salesperson. What you're looking to do is then get your team to follow processes and systems that are scalable and duplicatable. And those things mean they need to be written down, and that becomes an operational component to a business, right? How do you have something that can be followed by all? And so, again, as you build your companies and you look at what really the end effect of that becomes, you're delivering a product or a service ultimately to benefit the customer experience, to allow those participating in that endeavor, again, a fulfilling career for themselves. And at the end of the day, you get to have something that's pretty powerful in America, which is to be an entrepreneur and all the privileges that it affords us.
I've seen you grown leaps and bounds. Your brother, Tim, who's also investing in Hawaii and back in San Diego and has grown a big organization in network marketing, also kind of mentored him. I remember he, started making money, bought a limo at a young age of 19 or 20. And, just inspired a lot of people in San Diego. Has such a large group of young people in San Diego. And then you moved on from network marketing and you moved to Hawaii. You and Mr. Jeff Bucks got married. And tell us a little bit about that ordeal. I love you guys. You guys are just amazing. Matter of fact, before we talk about that, I go to Colorado. I stay at your house with your parents and your dad, and we played pool. And I stay at and his favorite car was that Vet. Tell us about that Vet that your dad had.
Oh, Al, I think there's something that's really important to me in my life, and that's family. And so having had the privilege to have great parents, amazing parents that, I owe so much of my success to. It started with humble beginnings. My dad went to work every day in Fort Collins, Colorado on a bicycle. And this involved snowstorms and rain and sleet because our family wasn't uber wealthy. I tell the story that our family, we invested in Nike tennis shoes and not Nike stock. And the result of that was that we wanted to give my dad back his dream. And for my father, that was a cherry red Corvette. And so as he was moving into his retirement years and being in public service for almost 30, we put that cherry red Corvette in his garage, and when he drove up in his 10-speed and opened the door for the first time, I got to put the keys in his hands. One of the best days of my life was being able to present my dad with such a big gift. And by the way, he still drives that car today, nearly 20 years later.
Yeah, your dad's amazing. So is your mom. I've had a great time at your house, spending time with your family. After we do meetings and stuff, building our network marketing business and stuff, and just an amazing family. Your brother as well. And then tell us a little bit about your hubby, who's a dear friend as well. And we'll share a little bit of that story, how you guys met, and then how you guys end up in this beautiful place called God's country, Hawaii.
Jeff was actually one of my first employees. We'll call him employee number 2. After we started with a few siblings that I recruited. Jeff was a college student studying marketing and business. And one of the opportunities I had in leading the network marketing company was to create young entrepreneur clubs around the country. I went into colleges and universities. I was able to get an accredited foundation. They gave me access to rooms, and then I could go to the business schools and I could present in front of the classrooms the chance to come and work with me through the telecom business. They could establish credits, and then we got paid. And Jeff was one of the guys that was in that classroom. And when I asked that classroom who liked marketing, he raised his hand, unlike the other 100 kids that didn't. And that started our journey together over 25 years later. We're proud parents of 7 children. And the love of my life has been the business partner that's been down the hall and with me on this journey every step of the way. So I'm very fortunate that 40 hours a week at the office, I get to collaborate with a person that is as passionate and still is as enthusiastic as I am about wanting to build things. And I think that's what we do every day when we get to go to work in our business.
Yeah, you said a golden nugget, folks. I want everybody to understand this around the world is listening. Understand what she said. They were young college kids. And college campus, we were hitting the college campuses. She started doing meetings to college campuses and bringing we had, just tons of young people in. There's another nugget, golden nugget right there. And also, who likes marketing? And Jeff went, there we are. And she said 25 years later, now they have 7 children, which we'll get into in a minute because I know she loves family. And the idea, they built it, and she started there, and she built a large organization. They moved to Hawaii and bought this lot, leveled the house down. Maybe I'm getting a little more, and rebuilt this mansion, this beautiful place, which I've gone to. I was just there about a year and a half ago, and I was there a couple of years prior to that. She says, anytime you're out here, you want to stay at this place is huge. With the open windows, sliding all the way, and the pianos, and we tested some very fine beverages from around the world. That's very rare because they've done quite well for themselves. So talk about the children, because I know you have 7 children, and I know you're passionate about the children, and I was going to get to this, but I got to get to it now. So tell us about the family.
Well, our journey's been, as is all things, a little unique, even in the way that we built our family. And whether it was in my career or in my home, I live to serve. And so I knew always I would find my children through adoption. And I was blessed and fortunate enough at 25 to begin that journey with international adoption for special needs kids. And all things in my life, I guess, are exponential. So why not have kids exponentially? I was able to bring home, 3 wonderful little boys from Korea and China. 2 daughters I went back to get a few years later. Along in the process, I accidentally got pregnant and had the 6th, and then the 7th arrived home shortly thereafter. So our age spans are 20 all the way down to 8. And I've got a huge brood of wonderful kids that are just unique humans. Their souls are so special, and that they appreciate where they've come from, and they understand what it means to be part of their community and give back, and that they take care of each other in a way that family really should. So you don't see lots of large families today, but when the Buck family gets on the airplane with 9 of us, I guess there's a little bit of a ruckus here and there.
No, you know what? Every time I come visit you in Hawaii, stop by the house, see the kids, I'm just blown away, the love that everybody have. Now, what she said, let me repeat that. She said she's adopted 3 boys that were Korean and Chinese, 2 girls, Korean, Chinese, and she had 2. But the blessing is, what a family, because God has blessed her immensely, because she's so focused and she's so full of love. And the last time I was there, I came to the house, I brought some flowers, and the kids remembered that we had a great dinner, and we talked, and piano, and then they went down to do in their various rooms, and then we started drinking some exotic different beverages that they brought in from around the world. And I tell you, just a special special time. They're very dear to my heart, because I watched them grow since 18 years old. And I mean, I'm just watching both of them just butterfly out, and they become such a great role model for so many people. Let's talk a little bit about the business side. How many insurance offices do you have? And kind of tell the group around the world here a little bit of the locations of all the agents and offices you have.
Well, the business began as an insurance company back in 1980, and we have grown the business now to embody not only the insurance side of the house, but also private wealth management. We own our own registered investment advisory firm. We've also expanded it now to include accounting, bookkeeping, payroll companies. And finally, we've endeavored into the federal program. So we actually own a federal benefits business that does all HR administration. So there's really 3 different segments to the company at this point in time, which is fairly exciting. I was honored to be promoted to the CEO of the business in 2018 after working in the enterprise first as a private wealth advisor myself, and then ultimately running operations for Ed for a number of years. Taking over the business in 2018 as the CEO, we were able to grow the company from onboarding about $40 million a year of new business to close to $85 million by 2020. COVID hit that year, and as a newly born CEO, that, let's just say national pandemic was not in my business plan. But we really embrace a growth mindset at E.A Buck, and one of our values is just to have a can-do attitude. And so my marketing director and I put our heads down and we looked at what we needed to do that year. And the first thing we did is we promised our staff we wouldn't let go of one of them. The second thing we did is we said, we're going to take this opportunity where fear and panic is running rampant, and we can help our clients get through this tumultuous time in the stock market because we protect their downside. And Al, that year in COVID, we went from previously 85 million of new assets gathered to $150 million of new assets. We did it in 1 year, which took me almost 5 to do to start. This year, the business will onboard over $500 million of new assets. We are driving right now about $2.5 billion of assets that we take care of in 5 different regions across the country. So we touch shoreline to shoreline, from Hawaii all the way to North Carolina. We have almost 24 offices open, and our staff is about 100 today. So we just continue through our gift of really helping everyday families understand the secrets of the wealthy, build great financial plans that take care of them as they go into their retirement. We're preservation focused because it's not what you make that counts, it's what you keep that is important. And the result of that is that we become trusted partners for life with these families we take care of. So I really have to give all the credit, though, to the team of people that I surround myself with. I've got an amazing executive board driven passionately about our core purpose. And we've got dedicated financial professionals that are, they're great advisors. And they come into work every single day to work with families like the one that I got to be raised in, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, well, you know what? You're an amazing young lady. Always been amazing. You and Jeff have been a powerhouse and a power couple. Like she said, she went from private wealth management, which is a certain amount of money. You have to have the build on the wealth. She started and she became the CEO of the corporation in 2018. They went from 40 million to 85 million in 2020. And then during the pandemic, watch this, while everybody else was sleeping and whatever, they drove their business, doubled it again almost to $150 million. That's powerful. And now she's under management is over $500 million. And this is from a lady who started with a dream, a hope, a desire, with good genes, understanding what she got to do. She understands the work hard ethics, and she put that into driving her business, and as well as her beautiful family. One of her sons just graduated. I got a birthday card from him about 2 weeks ago. I'm so proud of him. Every year I get every year I look for my birthday. I look for my Christmas card with the whole family and what they've done through the years. And by the way, I've kept every single one of them. I got every one of them. I have every one of them. I've not thrown. I got every one of them because they're very special to me to see what she's done, what she's become, and the blessing she's helping so many people. And that's our goal as mentors and leaders is multiply efforts to other people. And I am so proud of what her and Jeff have done, Bucks. They're just an amazing couple. And I'm glad to see what they're doing because I understand they have a great heart. They're super, super, super humble. And I want to say thank you for allowing me to mentor you those years early on, and now watching you mentor others and this mushroom and balloon into who you are, young lady. You're an amazing leader. You're an amazing person.
Well, and I maybe want to, as we wrap up, tell the story about you, Al. And when you talk about a selfless leader who generously gives of the time, when I was young and wet behind the ears and figuring things out, we put Al and his wife in the back of our used car, and we drove around San Diego with an old Thomas guide. And guys, if you don't know what that is, that's a book you pull out with a map on it. You have to flip the pages. And I had asked Al, I said, Al, can you teach me how the wealthy do it? Can you show me a way to buy assets? Can you teach me a way to be smarter and not work harder? And Al gave me the gift of his time. He gave me the whole day. And we drove around to some neighborhoods in San Diego that Al said, Katie, don't get out of the car here. And I said, but Al, this is what I can afford. And he was good enough to help me find my first opportunity to buy a rental property, to be able to transfer that into 2 and 3. And now, if I didn't have your tutelage, if I didn't have your friendship, I can promise you that our children, the life we live today, the families we get to take care of, I'm not sure that it would have been possible. You're without a doubt one of the top 3 most influential people in helping us launch this. So thank you.
You're very welcome, dear. I know you're super busy, and I thank God for you taking time out. When I thought about my channel and starting this podcast, I got to get the two. Katie Buck's on here, Jeff Buck's on here. One of you, if not both of you. And I thank you that your secretary got all this lined up for us. And you still remember little old me. Just kidding. Because folks, I go to the house, I have breakfast with them, dinner. We just have a great time together. And I'm just watching the children go through all these years. And I'm so proud of everything that you bestowed on those children, because you know what you put in them, it reflects about what you and Jeff have put in them. And they're so amazing children. They're so very, very cordial. They're so very attentive. And they're just amazing, amazing beings that you have brought up. And I love the idea, they're Chinese, they're Korean. And you just have so much love for family. And whatever comes in your path, you just overshadow with love, and they can't help but be loving back, because that's what you guys are, is a lot of love.
Well, I appreciate that. I just say God gave me 7 kids to teach me patience, because I don't think I've learned it yet. So each day's a new day.
In closing, for new people out there looking at going into business, just general business ideas, or techniques, or thoughts, what would those thoughts be for you? For somebody out there looking, says, I don't know if I can do business. I don't know. What would you say to somebody to encourage them about going forth and what the blessings they have in their heart to do a business? What would you give people as far as an advice?
I would suggest that anybody looking to take on an opportunity to open a business remembers that they need to stay coachable. You have a lot to learn as you cut that first step in a business, and the ability to know that the lessons are going to keep coming at you every day. Remain humble with those, because it's the journey that you're so appreciative of. There's some great books out there. The Young Entrepreneur's Operating System, the EOI, fantastic traction, especially if you're beginning a new business, is a phenomenal place to start. But anybody considering that as a choice, I think there is no better time probably than we are living in American history, with the internet, the access to information, goods and services, the ability to start a business with a low risk, high reward potential is so real and so possible. And I think we've seen that with the individuals that are Uber drivers today. They're business owners in one sense, right? We've seen it with Etsy and anybody that can move a good or a service. So I would just say this is the time to take advantage of it, stay coachable, and have a heck of a good time.
Wow, be coachable. That's amazing. Today I'm in Mexico and she's in Hawaii. There's about a 5-hour time span difference in us, but the world is shrinking, folks. If you notice what she said, she also said she has a couple dozen offices, almost 2 dozen offices, 100 employees, and she's anywhere from Hawaii to North Carolina. but she had to start somewhere. And now look at, because she stayed faithful and focused like a magnifying glass, look how big her organization has grown. And what did she say in the beginning? She's here to help inspire people and bring value. You got to be able to bring value to people. And I'm so grateful I had a chance to have Miss Katie Bucks in my life and Jeff Bucks in my life, and had a little something to do with their success. But the question is this before we close the call: whose lives are you touching? How much are you giving out? And here's one of my 21 millionaires that look at how great they're doing, and the family, the 7 kids. I mean, just, you know, some of us struggle with 1 or 2, but she's been so blessed because she's such a giver. And that's one thing that I always admire about it. I can call her and hey, I'm in Hawaii. Whenever in Hawaii, call me, come by, whatever. They'll rearrange their schedule. I'll go by the house and meet the kids, see the kids, and to see their growth. And folks, this is a very important call today. So I want you guys to watch this over and over again and listen and take notes on what Miss Katie Buck said today. You know, give us a few words in closing, Katie. I want to thank you for your time. Give us a few words in closing for people out there around the world listening to this call today. What would you give them as far as the closing remarks?
Well, one, thank you for spending the time to listen in for 30 minutes. Al, you touched on a core value for us inside of our firm, and we call that give first. It's a way in a culture of life inside of our business that we believe that if we give first and ask for nothing in return, the reciprocity and what you send out into that world will come back to you. Continue to pay it forward. If you're a listener out there, good things will come from it. Thank you for investing your 30 minutes with Al and I wish you all the best of luck.
Wow, Katie Bucks, thank you so much. Give Jeff a hug for me. Tell him it's for me. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your time. Give the kids and tell them all I said hello, hello, hello. And the next time I come to Hawaii, I'll call you before I come. Maybe we'll meet up again and have some time together. And with that, thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. God bless you. We'll talk to you soon, everybody. Thank you all for your time today. God bless. Remember, we'll see you at the top, or we'll see you over the top.